Hello guys and welcome back to Sidebar Sketchbook. I'm about to head out, but I'm gonna film this intro. It's gonna be short and sweet. This is a much requested video and it was requested to me from people on Instagram. It's an Autodesk Sketchbook tutorial. It took me around 5 hours to finish the sketch and this is it right here. I'm making posters and mugs out of those kind of sketches and I don't know why, but it's something that really resonated with me. So anyways, without further ado, let's skip to this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. And as you can see, this is like the interface. Anything I make remains in this folder and you can browse your sketches, you can export them. So this is the beauty of it. Also, it can export things as PNG, which is something that is beautiful. So I'm just going to open up a new sketch. I'm gonna get into the default setting. If you want a specific size, make sure that you do add it. And then you have your canvas. So just basically speaking, these are the tools that you're going to be using every day. The Apple Pencil detects pressure, which is really awesome. So if I do go hard onto the paper, it's going to be darker. And if I kind of like, you know, lose the pressure from my hand, it's going to look, you know, nice and light. You also have the highlighter, you have the spray paint, you have the calligraphy pen, and this is the tool that I'm going to be using today. This is my favorite tool on the Sketchbook app because it also detects pressure, and I can make it into a thick line or I can make it into a thinner line, and I combine it usually with this tool right here, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, you have all of the tools, the erasers, and if you open up this, you're going to find the whole library of tools, which you can see previews of as soon as you click them. So definitely check them out. You can also play with the settings. You don't have to go to the settings every time you want to change the size or the opacity. You can simply do it from those sliders here. As you can see, if I'm sliding down, it's going to make it smaller. And same here for the opacity, it's just, you can play with it here. This is like the color tool and you can drag it anywhere so it doesn't really distract you from your artwork. You can switch it from HSL to the RGB. Also, you have the Copic colors, which is so cool. You can just go there and you can find the whole range for Copics. Just gonna keep it on the HSL. I love it because I can see the saturation and lightness, and this is what I need most. Those are your basic tools. Of course, there's the redo, undo. This menu right here gives you the new sketch gallery, the sharing, which how you can save it. This is a very important tool, which is the selection tool. Like in Photoshop, if you do work on Photoshop, you can select anything on your work and click on the move and move it, and you can even scale it, make it bigger, make it smaller. This helps you a lot, and this is why digital sketching wins over the hand sketching, because you can't do that. If you mess up on a paper, that's it. You've messed up, right? I still love to draw on paper though, so don't get me wrong. Then we have the paint bucket, which also has the gradient tool, and there you can change the tolerance as well. And this is also one of my favorite things, a built-in ruler. You know, if sometimes you need a ruler, you don't have it, and you try to use anything around you. So this is kind of like a built-in ruler, and it's awesome. You also have the curve ruler, which you can adjust the points to make it into any curve. So you can make it into a circle, or for this tool also I use it a lot. It's the Symmetry Tool, especially in interior. Sometimes you are drawing a pattern and that pattern is kind of symmetrical and you don't want to draw the same thing twice, so you can simply use this tool for that purpose. You can also add as many symmetrical lines as you want. It's pretty awesome. You can add as many sections as you want, and if you draw on this section, it's kind of relaxing too, and it's very easy to do, so that's really cool. I'm gonna clear this. Okay. For the drawing tools, which is like the line and the circle or the oval, with the rectangle, this is if you need something very basic. I believe if you are a graphic designer, you're gonna benefit from this. This is my favorite tool right here. This is why I don't use Procreate. I don't know if it is in Procreate, but I'm very happy with this tool. It's a predictive stroke, and you can change the levels of it. So you know how the Apple Pencil is not very, it doesn't have much traction on the surface of the iPad screen because it's kind of slippery. And this is normal because you're not drawing on paper where you have kind of this traction, which is very important. So this kind of improves your line straightness ability, or even like when you're drawing a circle, it predicts. So let me show you, enough talking. Let me show you. Oh, if I don't work with it and I want to draw a straight line, this is my straight line. But if I do work with it and I do make a straight line, it kind of corrects that line. And nothing wrong with this line, but it's just, it's sometimes you really need this precise, perfect line, right? If you're drawing a circle too, it kind of makes it perfect, and you can make it as predictive as you want. This other tool is very helpful. You can actually take an existing image. Let me see my favorites. You can take an existing image and you can place it if you would like to like make notes on it, or you can trace, which is something really cool. I personally trace some of the works that I do, and it's really important that you do that in the beginning. It gives your hand the ability to follow the line, and kind of you kind of understand how to sketch. It's like you're sketching for the first time when you're digitally sketching. At least I feel this way. So you can definitely create another layer because you have the layer tool, and you can kind of sketch on top of it, and then you can, you know, hide this to see where exactly did you sketch. With the predictive stroke, you can have like kind of a perfectly traced. We also have the perspective tool, which have like different tools inside of them. To be honest with you, I haven't used it very much, but I know that it's helpful, because this is like a one vanishing point mode, and if you do draw a line, it's going to be perfectly 90 degrees. So, and anything you draw on top of it will be perpendicular to it. When you want to sketch the edge of the room, it will take it immediately to the vanishing point, so you don't have to think about it. See, like I've messed up, so I'm supposed to do this here. It's very cool that you can do that without thinking about it, without thinking about the vanishing line. And especially if you're new to this sketchbook app, it's going to save you a lot of time. We have the text tool and we have the recording tool. This tool just removes all of the tools just so you can see clear what's happening. Also, you have the layers, this is the cool thing. This app is absolutely free, and you can add as many layers as you want. So now that you know the basics, I'm gonna have my reference image here, but also if you have an iPad Pro, what you can do is just slide your hand up, and for example, if you have Pinterest, go to Pinterest and slide it to the right of screen or left of the screen, depending on your preference, and then you can have kind of the reference materials and images and colors right next to you. You can save them and take them to the app. It's so easy, so simple. So yeah, I'm gonna use this image as an example, and I'm just going to imagine the rest of the room. Let's say I can definitely save time and trace, but I'm not gonna do that because I want to use the tools one by one for you guys. And I'm just going to make it smaller with the moving tool. If you're using the moving tool, you can also play with the distortion, so you can make it into like a better perspective. If your image is not in a perfect perspective, you can flip it horizontally or vertically, and you can also nudge it perfectly to the same line, or to the left or to the right, which is really cool. And you can also rotate it if you want. I'm sorry I'll have to flip it like this. It's just that I'm more comfortable working with this, and I'm gonna close this window right here because we're working strictly with Sketchbook. Let me know in the comments down below if you also struggle to draw with a straight paper in front of you, because I always need to have my paper like this. So I'm gonna try to do this so you guys, it's easier for you to see. Your perspective is here. I'm just going to draw this corner, so like I didn't even need it to think about the vanishing point because it's right here, right? The thing about handmade sketches, like manual on the notebook, on the paper sketching, is that one thing that really annoys me is the furniture order, because you kind of have to plan for your sketch, because you will have, let me show you actually, let me bring a notebook. So like this kind of sketches, okay, this is like a 3D sketch, right? But if I want to have a chair in the middle of the room, right, I kind of can't create it after I've created the wall, because it will clash the lines unless I do it with a pencil, and that will work perfectly. But see, for example, this sketch right here, it was a quick sketch, but I had to draw the table first, which I didn't do because it's in IKEA. I was having a discussion with a colleague and I just wanted to show them where I wanted to place it, but I had to draw this dining table first and then the wall behind. So your layers work from the objects near to your eye to the objects that are further to your eye. Like you can see it here better. And you kind of need to think about all of the elements. You need to think about the lighting. With the Sketchbook app, because you have layers and you can bring them backwards and forward, but there's still a charm to the sketching on notebooks that says espresso. So right now I drew the wall. My advice to you to always keep things on separate layers. You can adjust it easily. But now I'm just working on the architectural detail. I can see this line here. Your best friend on this app is the undo button. You will work with it very often. So I kind of drew this line, and then I have the crib, which is where I want to go create a new layer for that. And I'd like to also use the symmetry, but I'd like to use just one line of the symmetry because we have a symmetrical kind of crib. So this is the middle of the room, and I'm gonna use the predictive stroke too because I can work with it easy. And I'm going to kind of draw the crib right now with the same perspective. Here's where the magic is at, which I can do. I can go to the selection tool, and first of all I'm gonna remove these lines. I'm gonna remove them by going to the line itself, selecting it, add the selection. If you replace it, it's gonna be on deselected. And I'm gonna go to the layer itself and go to clear. Now I know that everything goes away along with it. That's because, again, I'm trying to mess up so I can show you like the best approach when I'm working. But I'm gonna ignore that right now, and I'm gonna copy those guys, paste, notch tool. And as you can see, our crib is kind of half ready. I'm gonna add a new layer just to sketch the things behind, which is the mattress. Predictive line again. And let's sketch the mattress. Did I say matrix? I'm not sure. I'm gonna copy this whole front row thing. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna paste it on a new layer. I'm gonna take the layer behind. I'm gonna make it smaller to fit the crib. And I'm gonna stop right here just to create the mattress. Okay, my camera stopped its recording. I don't know where you guys were left off. Now I kind of want to do this area right here. So the rug and I'm not gonna make it as perfect as the picture because I'm aiming for something that looks sketched. I'm gonna kind of sketch the rug right now. I'm sketching in white. This is why I'm not seeing anything that I'm sketching. I'm gonna go ahead with the Symmetry Tool again. It's gonna save the last position that you are in. I'm gonna do the predictive stroke too. Oh wow, look at that. I don't even have to think about the perspective. Like, everything is kind of easy in this app, which is I really appreciate. Maybe I want to take it and scale it a little bit just so it looks nicer. Now I'm going to draw this sheepskin, but I'm going to distort. I don't like the one here, so I'm just going to kind of freehand it. And for this chair, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Go to this layer, add a layer on top, and trace this chair with a predictive stroke. I mean, if you can do that, then why not, right? Just make sure that you don't copy people's work without their consent or without taking permission, and as well, just make sure that you kind of are ethical when you are copying. I really don't see any harm in tracing things, because even if you trace the same element as me, it's never going to look the same. I'm going to take the layer and place it right here. Okay, and I'm going to kind of work on it a little bit because I don't really like how it turned out. Now that we have the elements kind of drawn, the main elements, I just want this tree to show because I really like the greenery. What I do in this app is I go to the gallery. I'm gonna save the current sketch. And yeah, the movie was saved too. I'm gonna go to the library and I'm gonna search for a similar element, because these take time to draw, right? So I think this is the element that I want. And as you can see, I've already drawn these plants, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy it. This is also very nice. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna go to the gallery, save current sketch, back to this, and I'm not gonna do the exact same plant because I honestly, it's not about drawing it, it's just like I don't really think it goes very well. So I'm just gonna paste this plant and keep it right here. I'm gonna draw the pot and the lake for it later on. I'm gonna add the frames and I'm gonna add this corner right here. And yeah, I'm just going to explain along the way if I need to. I kind of want to draw curtains, so I'm just going to do that. A little tip for you, if you're an organized person unlike myself, what you can do is the following. So for accessories, you can give a label, for a color label for each element of the design. For example, for accessories, I'm going to choose yellow. For the main furniture, I'm going to choose orange. And for the accessories, yellow. For the architectural, I'll choose the blue. I kind of want to draw things here. So what was in the original? There was a giraffe, there was an elephant and a lion in the middle. So great. I'm not gonna do that. Just going to kind of freehand. I actually did a drawing for the nursery that I just finished for my client. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the color for them. So I click on the layer itself to change the color. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on the HSL adjustment, and I can change to any color I want. So I don't know about you, I'm feeling a little pink. And to place it behind the frame, just going to drag it down. Again, these tips are totally optional, but I really enjoy sketching. And then what I'm gonna do, I selected the inside of the frame. I'm going to invert selection with this tool right here. I'm gonna go to the layer, I'm gonna clear it. As you can see, it's now inside of the frame. And I'm gonna write in calligraphy style, just quotes. I wish I would left the crep with layers so I can add the accessories inside of the crep, but I didn't think ahead. And this is what happens to people who don't think ahead. But don't worry, I'll be RP. Be right back. Alright, now that we have the structure of the room and then we have all of the architectural details, what we're going to do is, my favorite part is to color. But first I would like to add some pendant lights here, or even some like LED lights, so when we color we have a little bit of that effect. I'm gonna be using the ruler tool just to make sure that it looks nice and neat. So I kind of adjusted the perspective, and it wasn't there in the original painting or in the original picture, and you want to open a new layer for that. Kind of align them one more with a little bit of widened angle and a bit bigger because it's like a closer to the view. Okay, so the alignment is not perfect. So what I'm gonna do is go to the lasso tool, select it, go to the moving tool, and just bring it down a little bit. I'm going to reduce the size for the last one so it looks further away from the others. This is the extremely fun part, the coloring. I love this part. Now with the coloring, I like to start with the bigger elements first. So you go to the walls, which is the architecture, the blue label, create a layer behind it, and go ahead and choose the rectangle selection tool. Take it from this corner to that corner, and with the lasso tool you can go ahead and select the rest of the walls if you want. Now with a paint bucket, I will choose a nice gray color. It's painted on top of everything else. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this layer down. Actually, you're supposed to have your architectural element all the way behind of everything, so I'm gonna do that too. So as it's selected now, I'm just gonna change the lightness for the gray to something way lighter. You can see the comparison here. Now we have a little bit of depth, and I'm gonna make this strip all across the molding. I'm gonna make it bright white. So again, it created that kind of depth. And you can go ahead and either change the color if you like. So I actually don't mind the pink, although I didn't plan for that, but maybe a blush pink would be nice for this particular room. And that will make me change this into something else. I'm gonna desaturate the painting a little bit more to fit the color scheme. I can't give you a tutorial exactly on how you should work or what tool process should be. You kind of need to do that yourself. Like, you need to start practicing on the app. The more you practice, the more you are with the tools, and then you will use the perfect tools for your own taste and work. I have also used the eyedropper to pick up the exact same color from the painting, and I'll add the shadows. When I want to add the shadow, I just slide the HSL color slider. I'll slide it down just a teeny tiny bit so it matches exactly the right hue of color. Down below, and if you need any type of clarification, write it in the comments to me right down below. And have a great time of the day wherever you are in the world. Goodbye. Oh, this is hey. Goodbye.